you
I
know.
was furiously reading High Republic books and comics on the plane ride over to Celebration just so I could say I was caught up if I talked to anybody. Or if I bumped into an author that I would know what I was talking about since I read their last
Hmm.
book. I did actually bump into Daniel José Older in the lobby of the Hilton,
Hmm.
which did not recognize him because he was wearing a mask. And it took me a second. A friend of mine I was with introduced
Hmm.
me to
Oh, okay.
this person, Daniel. I'm like, okay, and we just talked for a few minutes, and then it kind of clicked. I
Hmm.
because he looked familiar, but I think I'd only ever seen him in photos in like
Hmm.
video online, but I don't think I'd ever seen him in person. So
Hmm.
the height and everything, I just wasn't. I wasn't
Oh, yeah.
connecting the dots. And
He
then
was
all of
at
a
last
sudden, I was like,
celebration,
wait.
actually.
I was like, Daniel Jose Older, and he's like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm a big fan of yours. I think that's exactly what
That
I said
belated
to
reaction.
him. And he's like, oh, thank you. And I was like, yeah, I was just reading your book. So yeah, so I was glad that I took the time to finish his book before before seeing him in person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's always there's just so much that's coming out. For me, it's been so hard to keep up with everything. I'm behind on some of the comics. I'm behind on so many comics, not just Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I can't complain. We're living in a great era where, there's Star Wars stories out every week, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
There's no lack of stories being given to us.
No.
And if it ever does go back into like a dark times, we'll have plenty of content. We're like, okay, well, I guess now I can catch up on those comics I didn't read yet.
Yeah, I've got a pile of Star Wars adventures, my IDW, that just kept growing and growing and growing to my eternal shame.
Yeah. Which now, man, the frustration around what's happening
Oh
with
yeah.
Comixology and uh
Don't
moving
even get me
over to
started on
Amazon and
comicsology.
yeah. And now I could complain about kind of the whole thing, but I won't go into a ton of it. But it made it so now Amazon took down all the IDW comics off of their platform,
Mm.
and IDW doesn't offer them either digitally because Dark Horse now has the license. So you cannot purchase the IDW Star Wars Adventures comics for High Republic
Cool.
anywhere
Great.
digitally right now.
Well, hopefully once Dark Horse gets their stuff together, they'll start offering them trades like Marvel did for the old Dark Horse things. And anyways, kids, this is why we don't buy books from Amazon. Go to Barnes and Noble or your local bookstore, or even better, if you're buying comics, support your local comic book store, not Amazon. I'm good.
Yes, I will take that to heart because I'm definitely guilty of the convenience of Amazon out, kind of overriding the running to the comic book shop. In fact, I don't even know if I have one anywhere near me
You
for
must.
where I live, but I will
Oh,
look into it.
a lot of stores will ship.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah. Sorry, I
I
deeply love my local comic book store.
no. I feel thoroughly reprimanded, and I will make it right.
This is why, guys, when you never hear from me on Bookworms ever again, this is why.
Bria's last episode, her farewell episode.